and welcome to the content creation portion of our VictoryXR Academy website. Today we're going to be talking about how to input your lesson plan. So as you can see on the screen, once you've logged into www.vxr.academy, this is the screen that you'll see. Mine might look a little different because I already have my educator profile set up and some additional controls at the top. But in general, your screen should look like this and have the two options of create content or teach content. And today we're going to focus on the create content piece. Now, before we get started, you need to have set up your educator profile before you're able to go in and actually create content. You set up your username, your email address, a password, and then just basically your teaching credentials. Nothing too in-depth, but what your background is. You can load a picture in there, that'd be great. And then once you have that done, come back to this portion of the training and we'll begin. So if you need to hit pause right now and take care of that, go for it. Otherwise, we're going to continue with the create content. So I'm going to click on that button. And once you come into the create content portion, this is where you're designing your lesson in VR, and you'll have the opportunity to incorporate some of our custom videos or assets to put in there. You'll see my user dashboard. My profile is set up in here. So from this point, I'm going to go to create lesson plan. And basically, we've kind of created a template that mirrors what you would do in a regular lesson planning, and it kind of follows that format. The things that have asterisks are required. If it doesn't have an asterisk, you can skip it. Except for course name up at the top, that should have an asterisk. But at any rate, it starts with create lesson plan. If you'd like to see a sample of what the output is going to look like once you finish, I'll click on that and show you. And then you could actually go into the headset, into our academy, look up this lesson on anatomy and physiology by Wendy Martin, and participate in the lesson. But if you want to see how she planned it out and what's to be expected, this is what comes out. And so that might make a little more sense to you to look at this, take a look at her lesson, and then kind of see how it's reflected here. But that is the sample lesson plan. Otherwise, I'm going to go back to where we started here at the Create Lesson Plan site. And the lesson info is basically your course name. So if you're doing a 4-week class on environmental sustainability, you'd type environmental sustainability in your course name, and then each of the 4 weeks, I'm sure there's a different slant to that course, and so you would put the lesson plan title in here. It might be recycling or farming or what have you related to environmental sustainability. So your course name, which is much more broad, your lesson plan title, which will consist of your lesson. If you wanted to drop in any academic standards, depending on the discipline you're teaching, for instance, for our science lessons, ours are aligned to the next gen science standards. So we put those standards in here. Then you would pick yourself as the creator. And so that's why you needed to fill out the bio prior to coming to the screen. And then you put which level of education your target audience is. And so I'm going to say this is a high school class. You can see these are drop downs over here. So estimated lesson duration. We recommend that no lesson is more than an hour. You could certainly have less than 25 minutes, but a true lesson is anywhere from 25 to 60 minutes. And we've found in virtual reality, most people are really good with 30 to 45. Another drop-down menu for subject matter, so which discipline your lesson is going to be in. So I mentioned environmental sustainability. I would click science. And then that has, that's all the lesson information. So let me fill this in just so that I'm being complete. I'm going to skip the standards because I'm not sure, but so I filled that in. That takes literally, 2 minutes to do. The details are really kind of the heart of your lesson. This is the sequence. If you want to list what your objectives are, you know, students will learn about 3 modern farming techniques. You know, maybe, so I would put in, students will be able to learn about modern farming techniques. And then when you hit enter, another bullet populates and you can add more. Usually lessons have, you know, between 2 and 5 objectives. And then we come down to the lesson description. And this is more of a prose type of section where you would just, this is what people are going to see and decide if they want to attend your course. So it's a short blurb at a high level of what they're going to get in that particular lesson for the day. So students will learn about blah, 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 and take a virtual field trip to a modern farm, as well as practice handling crops in the field. I'm totally making this up, but the point is just to show you that it's in paragraph form, but it shouldn't be too long. This, again, will be listed on the description for marketing purposes and for people to kind of get a general sense of what your course is about. The sequence, again, is a list format, and this is the order of operations, so to speak. So you might begin your class by introducing class objectives, polling students for existing knowledge on topic, show video of farming practices, distribute, blah, blah, blah. So again, it's the order of operations in a linear fashion from start to finish of your lesson in general terms. And then this is where we get to the fun part, where we incorporate virtual reality. So demonstratives and media are what, you know, where you're going to teach and what you're going to include. So you want to pick a classroom space at the VictoryXR Academy. So if you click on, you can click on the drop down and see the custom classroom spaces that we have here. And if you want to have a better sense of, well, what are my options, then you can click on options and you'll see a couple of thumbnails of each of our custom designed spaces, as well as a brief description of how many students comfortably fit inside, maybe some highlights of, you know, a large media screen, if you will. They're alphabetized, and so you can quickly look through. And I'm a former high school English teacher, but I loved to take my class outside. So I see the campus quad here and I think, wow, that looks really cool. You know, because you can, in virtual reality, you're not limited by the 4 walls in your classroom. And so you can actually bring in chairs and bring in a media screen and set it up and decorate it how you'd like. So I clicked on Campus Quad. You can see it, the capacity is 50. It lists some features, suggested uses, the photo gallery, so that you can have an idea of some other shots about it and, you know, to scale what things look like. And so that gives you a sense of that. So anyway, I would then come back out here, pick Campus Quad for virtual field trips and lab demonstrations. Again, you can click See Options. Right now, I would say 95% of our content is middle school and high school science related. So if that is not something that you're teaching, then you might not incorporate one of our virtual field trips, but I would highly encourage you to go on YouTube and type in 360 video of, and then enter whatever topic it is that you're teaching about. And chances are you're going to find something and you can just give us the file to import for you. Or I believe you can load it into your headset and import it yourself once you're in our space. You could enter, you know, I mentioned I was going to do farming. So I can type farm and see if anything comes up under virtual field trips. And you can see that right now we have 5 different 360 videos or virtual field trips that I might incorporate. Cinnamon Ridge Farm, Agriculture Solutions, and so you can see there's a description. This is our metadata. See the code attached to it. So I'm looking at hydroponic farming, and it has FT061. The FT just means field trip. This is field trip 061. So what I would do is come back here and type in FT061. And when I do that, you'll see it's populating what that is. And basically, when you finish this template, you'll submit, and then that contacts us and makes sure that we load this information up for you. So you'll want to remember the code that's associated and just type it in here. Now I'm going to go to 2D videos and look at options. Again, 95% of it is science related. Although I would say that in some cases, even if you're teaching history or language arts or maybe even art, sometimes you might find, even though it's science related, you might take a 30-second clip from a 5-minute video that we've made because there is something relative to what you're doing. So here I'm just going to put recycle, I don't know, and we'll see what comes up. And nothing came up, which is a little wonky because we definitely have content related to that. But at any rate, when I went in, I think you probably noticed that I could have just clicked on these thumbnails and examined, what was in there. So I could click on, let's click on Career Day, for instance, and notice these start with VD and then a number, and VD is for video. So these you would show on any of our media screens that are either built into our custom classrooms or you can import one. But when you click on a video, it'll tell you, okay, this is middle school, aged, related to Earth and Space Science. Here's the next gen science standard, description, and then you could just click copy to account and that'll stick it right in your headset, I believe. You could also watch the video and make sure this is something you want to show or find a clip from. But that is basically what you get if you click on the thumbnail. So I'm going to go back to copy to account. Oh, that took me right into engage. And so yes, it would put it here into my account. So that's already loaded into my headset. For this purpose, I'm just going to remember the number VD069 and come back and type that in. Oops. I think I hit enter before it was ready. And let's hope that it populates that 2D video. There it is. And then lastly, under this demonstratives and media, and this is again how we're making our lesson for digital space. To look at our 3D objects, again, we're going to click on the options, and we've got thousands of things loaded in here right now. Some have thumbnails, some don't. Some are, this 1903 Wright Flyer, for example, I believe is from the Smithsonian. So we've loaded in a lot of assets from museums and other reputable educational institutions. We also have a lot of our own because we have designers on our team. So I believe you can see this is 12 assets to a page, and we have 414 pages worth of content. So you would then just type in whatever your keyword is. I'm going to type in animal. Actually, I'm going to stick with our recycling theme and type in metal. I have no idea what this is going to pull up. But again, this is a great place when you click on see options for you to just kind of tool around and surf. So as you can see, there are not thumbnails of these. There's a description. Let me see if I click on thumbnail, if you can see it that way. We are working on updating this and making it a little more user-friendly, but for now, this is relatively new. So here you just have a little description. If you think it might work, you can have us load it in, and then if you see it once you're in the headset and you don't want to use it, that's not a problem. But I'm just going to type in OB4242. And then, if I wanted to put in more objects, which often is the case, I'm just going to make stuff up now because I don't want to have to go back in there. And so we're going to take OB 3433. Let's see if that's a thing. I don't even know. I'm guessing we did these sequentially. Oh, good. A coral will be in there. So you would just use a comma to separate the different objects that you have. So this is really the part that where you're communicating with us what you need us to have loaded in there for your lessons, demonstratives, and media. And then the last section is suggested ancillary support. So let's say that I found a great 360 video on YouTube and not in the VictoryXR library. It'd probably be helpful to put in, let's say it was a recycling video, and then I would add the actual link here and then hit enter. And then let's say I had a PowerPoint that I had created that I'm going to import into, onto Engage and pull up. I might put the link for that here as well. So, you're basically putting your notes for other pieces of the lesson that you want to incorporate that aren't associated with the VictoryXR Academy library. And then any other last minute notes that you might want to put in, like maybe I'll try this, maybe try moving lesson location to, let's say we went to the to outer space, and we were going to talk about the hydroponic farming up there. So just a suggestion, maybe once you teach, you want to make a notation of something to try the next time. If you have a thumbnail that's associated with you teaching in VR that you want to put here or related to the lesson, you would add that and upload it. And this will be, lesson is not confidential if you are teaching in our academy and you're not affiliated with an institution who has that type of license with us. Then we would ask you to add your own tags so that people can find, if they are surfing on the other half of our lesson website, which I didn't show you, which was lesson plans. You adding these tags allows people to find that. And you can add your own here. So I might add in like recycling and farming. And then I don't think I filled everything out, so it's probably going to tell me that I didn't. But assuming I did, you click on Create Lesson, and then it's going to give you a message that you either need to complete some areas, or I guess I completed everything that had an asterisk. And so now what has happened is your lesson plan is going to come to me, the Chancellor of the Academy, who will review it and either ask you some questions, or if it looks like it's incomplete, or approve it, get it loaded in there, and then confirm with you when you can expect your assets that you've requested to be loaded in. And that's really it. I would encourage you to ask any questions via email to me. Again, it's Renee, R-E-N-E, @VictoryXR.com. If you're watching this video, we've probably already had a conversation and we've already been in contact. So just reach out, let me know if this wasn't clear. It is a pretty linear format, and we tried to build it in an intuitive fashion. So hopefully you can get through it with no issues, but by all means, reach out if you have any questions. And I thank you for your time today. And this wraps up the training portion for how to get your lesson plan onto the VictoryXR Academy website and communicate with us with the resources that you need. Thanks for your time.